Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. I'm at FreeTown Farm, and today we're going to transform the youth garden. We're going to take all this wood, build raised beds, put in some cattle panel. I'll show you how to do that. Let me show you where we're building. This is the youth garden. I want to thank everybody that donated. This is where your money's going, and if you want to donate for future projects through the Rusted Garden, there's information in the video description. So, youth garden, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 beds. We want to frame these up, and this is where kids come and plant. So my idea is to put 4x8 raised beds in here, cattle panel over one side. That'll take up 4 feet of space, and then they'll be able to grow vertically up that. But I think it's going to look really cool with raised beds in here and cattle panel. And we're just going to kind of redesign this, make it easier to manage, make it a lot of fun for the kids. And one of the goals with the when they walk through, it'll be a tunnel of vegetables that they can just pick as they're walking through it. All right, we're going to get to building, filling, and designing this space. We're trying to make construction easy. A bunch of volunteers and interns will be putting these together with my guidance. So these are 2 inches thick, 8 inches wide, 8 feet long, 2 by 8 by 8s. You need 3 boards, and to save in cutting, when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or a better lumber yard, they will cut the boards in half. So you need 3 2 by 8 by 8s. Get one cut in half, and they're going to get assembled just like this to build the frame. Some quick construction tips. With the 2-inch boards, you really don't have to pre-drill your holes. You can if you want to, but they typically don't split. This is pressure treated wood. You can use copper pressure treated wood. That's what it's been for 20 years. That's not going to harm you. I like to put in the 3 screws when you have 8 inches here, and then you can just kind of lift the board, screw them into that side. What's kind of cool is you'll get to see wood grain in here. Now sometimes the cut, it's hard to tell which way the rainbow is formed, but the rainbow looks like it would be formed this way, and you can see an example of that right here. You want the rainbow to go and be facing inward, so the rainbow would be going into this board. The reason you do that is because this board's going to naturally want to curl this way, and if you put the board on facing outward, it's going to curl this way, and it's going to create gaps. If you put the rainbow into the side that you're screwing into, that will keep the board sealed nice and tight right here and prevent the rainbow from making the boards look like they're starting to separate. Real basic, 3 screws, put it together, and I do recommend getting the thicker boards. If you get something thinner, the whole board sometimes can warp or bend, and it just doesn't look good over the years. A bunch of interns and volunteers are helping us put the beds together. We're going to probably be making about 15. Once they're done, they're going to go right into the garden. So here's the new space. We had to change the design up a little bit because these are 4x8 raised beds, and I didn't want to have to remove plants that the kids have been growing. So we did 4x8s right here, all the way down, and at the end are 4x4s. I'll walk down there and show them to you. So in this video, we're not going to fill them. I just want to show you the redesign. Next step is to get the cattle panel. And then at the end, we put 4x4 raised beds, and then there's another group of 3, 6, 9 right there. And in this group, these are 4x8s, 4x8s, and then we did 2x8s right in there. And I think it really makes the space look so much better. Down here, where I left these plants, we're going to do cattle panel arch, and this will be a tunnel coming through the whole center. So there'll be a little bit of symmetry to it. And then the 4x8s, some of them will have cattle panel, but let me just show you the angle from back here. But I think it looks pretty good. Again, these are 2x8s, 4x8, 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 and a 4x8. All right, cattle panels next. So I think we'll end this video here. Thank you so much for your donations. This is exactly where the money went to. And if you want to donate based on what you're seeing here, there's a link in the video description. You can go to PayPal, donate to the Rusted Garden Homestead, and then I use the money for right now. I'm using it at FreeTown Farm to build out different parts of the gardens here. But I will always do videos like this so you know exactly where your money's going, and there'll be a link to a blog where you can see, you know, exactly what the money's being used for. So I think this is beautiful. We did put in some soil. This is where the cool weather crops are good to go. We didn't pull out everything yet because the warm weather crops are still producing, but we'll get to that over the next couple of weeks. The biggest concern was trying to line up one set of beds as best you can so that they look pretty good, and then you build off of that. If you're going to put mulch down, 2 layers of cardboard, at least 4 inches of mulch, that will keep the weeds down. That was one of the biggest issues here, and it was really kind of disheartening to get everything planted and then the wiregrass comes back, the weeds come back. So this solution is really making a difference for the kids. And if you haven't gardened with kids before, when they're pulling carrots out of the ground or they're tasting a pea for the first time off the vine, it's really, really rewarding just to watch their face and just listen to them talk about how cool it is that they grew something, or learning where vegetables come from. These beds will all get filled in, again, cool weather crops. So we put in cattle panel on half the 4x8s. That's just one whole piece. That will be secured with T-posts that we'll do down the line. If you want to subscribe and follow me as we build out FreeTown Farm, I'll show you how we did that. But we have 1, 2, 3 cattle panel down there in the 4x8s. And then this is the tunnel I was talking about. This will get straightened up again with T-posts. This will all be dug out, cardboard will go down. This will be a walking path, but we'll grow beans up the side, we'll grow melons up the side, we'll grow cucumbers up the side, squash, all kinds of different things. And the children can just kind of walk right through here and pick what's hanging. And I think that's going to be really cool. A couple more 4x8s, and then we set the arches in opposite this way. Now, one word of caution, I guess, is when you're building your bed, make sure there's enough gap from there all the way over, which you're going to need 4 feet 1 inches to get a whole piece of cattle panel in there. These weren't large enough, so I had to use bolt cutters to cut off the ends, and they're a little bit sharp. Until we grind them down, I just put some duct tape on there. But make sure you have a width of 4 feet 1 inch, and then you'll be able to just sink the cattle panel in just like that. So we have arches going different ways. You can just see how beautiful the transformation is. The kids are going to love it. It's going to be a wonderful teaching space. Let me just step back and give you the big picture. Again, thanks so much for your donations. It looks great. And we're not even done yet. I mean, this is going to be absolutely beautiful. Also going to be using some of the money that was donated to fix up the other part. I want to thank Root Pouch for donating these fabric pots. These need to get filled all the way to the top. I wasn't great with my instructions, I guess, when we were getting them filled. But we're going to fill these to the top, and we're going to put in concrete mesh halfway around to build trellises in here and kind of transform this space over. We'll replace that one that got damaged by a weed whacker. Don't do that. All the weeds will be coming out, new fencing will be going in, but this is just going to be a beautiful space. So please follow us, and as we build out FreeTown Farm, you'll get to see all the changes we're making and maybe apply some of these ideas to your garden. Thanks so much for watching, and please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com. And again, thank you for the donations. Just absolutely beautiful.